Hey everyone, it's Aaron here from Ultimate Youth Worker, and I'm really stoked to be here today to do another video for you on a really great tool that we use all the time. Today we're going to share with you a really short video on the stages of change. If you haven't heard about the stages of change, that's fine. It's not unusual. It's one of those tools that sometimes can get glossed over in our studies, but one we think is really important to have in your kit bag. I first learned about the stages of change when I was in drug and alcohol work, when I was studying my certificate in drug and alcohol work. And I've found over the years that it's a very versatile tool and one which can be used in any type of work where a person is seeking change, which, as we know, is pretty much every type of work we do with young people. But what is the stages of change? Well, in a nutshell, it looks like this. Just a lovely little circle with a handful of bits to it. And we'll look at each one of those bits, the stages, as we go through this video. Throughout the late 1970s, two psychologists, Prochoska and DiClemente, developed what they called the trans-theoretical model, or as it's more widely known, the stages of change model. The stages of change has had a significant impact on the social services sector and has fast become one of the foremost conceptual resources in the field. Their vision of behaviour change as a cyclical process has resonated with many professionals working in areas ranging from substance abuse to the promotion of psychological health to education. The model is being used to tailor interventions to the particular stage that an individual is experiencing. And as you'll see, it's a really easy model to get your head around, to conceptualize, to see where you are in the stages of change. But what is it? Well, the stages of change is an integrative biopsychosocial model that frames the process of intentional behavior change. The trans-theoretical model sought to include and integrate key frameworks from other theories into a more comprehensive theory of change that can be applied to a variety of behaviors, populations, and settings. In a nutshell, it took from other theories, other frameworks, and brought it all together to have an overarching theory, a comprehensive theory of change. So let's look at the model again. And as you can see, we start off in the top right hand area, the pre-contemplation stage. This is where our young people have not even thought about changing. It's not even on their radar, whether that's changing relationships or stopping using some form of substance. It hasn't even gone into the thought process yet. From there, we move to the area of contemplation. And in contemplation, our young people are starting to think about the issues at hand. They might see a problem. They might see that they need to take some form of step in the right direction. From there, we move to preparation. And in the preparation phase, our young people are going to start to seek out some resources. They're going to find out what it's going to do, what it's going to take for them to do the change that they want to do. They're going to ask for advice. It's in this stage that they're checking everything out. From preparation, we move to action, and in the action stage, it's where the rubber hits the road. Our young people have to make the change. So they stop taking their substance abuse, or they move on from that relationship that's hurtful, or they begin to come to class every day. They make some form of clear behavioural change, some form of action. From there, we move to maintenance, that action becomes habit, and as we know, it takes a long time to form a habit, but to maintain our change takes a while as well. And in this stage, one of two things happens. Either it becomes intrinsic to us, that change of behavior becomes just a part of who we are, or it doesn't. And if it does become part of who we are, we can exit from the stages of change because we don't need to change anymore. We are who we are. If it hasn't become part of who we want to become, we see a relapse. That might be we use our substance of choice again. We fall back into the habit of hanging out with the same people, the bad influences. We stop going to class. We have a few struggles. That doesn't mean it's the end of it. It means we go back to the start. We think about our contemplation again, and we move through the stages. As you can see, a really easy conceptual model to get your head around. So I thought the easiest way then for us to do this would be to draw out the stages of change. And drug and alcohol is where I learnt this, and it's a really easy one because drug and alcohol, you are definitely looking for change there. So let's have a look at what we end up with. So we have our young person over here. And our young person has decided to use some form of substance. They might be drinking alcohol, for instance, and they're ticking away, really happy at the world. Things are going fine for them. They don't see an issue at all. And this is the stage that we call pre-contemplation. They haven't even thought about it being an issue. What we're looking for, though, is for them to move into the stages of change. And so from pre-contemplation, we want to move to contemplation. And in contemplation, our young person might have had some discussions with family about their drinking. Their friends might have said, "Hey, mate, you know, you're not so fun when you get drunk." Their girlfriend might have broke up with them. Who knows? But something has made them start to see that there's a bit of an issue here. If you're a great youth worker, you might have even used Rosen's 4Ls on them. And they're seeing that there's an issue here, some contemplation. From contemplation, we want to move forward. We want to move them to an area of preparation. And in the preparation, they're going to start to ask some questions. They're going to find out all that they can about how they can change what's going on for them. They're going to do some research on the interweb. They're going to look at Facebook groups, all those things that we tell them not to do. So in this stage, we need to be able to give our young people some really good information, some solid information. They're preparing to make an action here. And if in this scenario, it's to cut down or ease up on their drug and alcohol use, we want them to have the best information that they can have. So for us as youth workers, really important part here is to make sure that in the preparation phase, you've got the best information possible. So they prepare and they move forward to action. And in the action phase, they actually do something here. And it might be that our young person drinks half a bottle of Jack Daniels every night. And they decide that in the preparation that drinking that much is actually a bad thing. And they decide to cut down. And they decide that instead of half a bottle of Jack Daniels, they're only going to drink a 6-pack of beer. A small change in the right direction. The action here is what we're looking for, though. So they decide to cut down. They're having their 6-pack now, and that's working well for them. And we see that over the next month or so, they maintain the action. They maintain just drinking the 6-pack. And for them, that's a great change. They're happy with it. They're able to continue with doing that. But then they go to a party. And at that party, we see an ex-girlfriend. Life's not great again. And we have a bit of a relapse. That relapse doesn't end things. We got absolutely toasted. We felt sorry for ourselves the next day. And that ex-girlfriend, still the ex-girlfriend. But we decide, you know what, that's just one lapse. We want to get back on it. So we contemplate again. We do our research. We prepare. We act. And this time our young person decides in their action that drinking even more than 2 drinks in a sitting is a bad idea because it leads them to lower their inhibitions. They maintain drinking only 2 drinks. And 6 months later we find out that they've exited this quite comfortably. They now only drink 2 drinks in any one sitting. Stages of change. Really simple tool, and one that we use relatively regularly in Ultimate Youth Worker, in our supervision sessions, in our coaching, even when we're working with young people these days. The stages of change model is one that you have to have in your kit bag. It's one you need to get your head around, and we hope that this has been a really simple, easy video for you to watch and get your head around. Hey, if you've liked the video and you thought it was a good thing, we ask you to throw up a like and a comment for us. Really helps to get the name out there. And hey, if you haven't yet seen it, go and jump on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Ultimate Youth Worker, and get involved with the network there. Let us know what other videos you'd like to see as well. And go and check out our website for some